Welcome to part 2 of this Football Manager 2016 experiment using a World Super League. In part 1, I holidayed one season to see what would happen in this World Super League in all 10 divisions. And we saw Barcelona winning the league, Man City second and Real Madrid third. Today, in part 2, I've holidayed 5 seasons. You can see the winners, runners up and the third place there. We'll have a look at things in a bit more detail over those 5 seasons in this episode. Once again, please hit that like button if you're enjoying these experiments that I'm doing. If you've got any ideas for possible future experiments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. So, let's get started then. As you can see here, the winners of the World Super League. Chelsea managed to win it twice in a row, then PSG, then Juventus, and then Bayern Munich. So English teams doing quite well, as you can see here. Chelsea also finishing second twice. Arsenal, Man United and Man City all featuring in the top 3 as well over the last 6 seasons in total. With Spanish teams, only one Spanish team, Barcelona, winning it. PSG, Juventus and Bayern Munich. So it's been spread out between the top divisions or the top nations in Europe, as you can see there. Now, there was quite a few people saying that certain teams have been missed off this World Super League. It certainly isn't the most perfect Super League that's ever been made, but I'm sure the guy who made it, he did comment on the first video, so thank you for commenting and thank you for making this. I'm sure he can rectify that, maybe update his Super League, include teams like Aston Villa and Werder Bremen that were missed out. So there's a few mistakes, as you would expect with this sort of thing, which is why I won't be doing a save on this World Super League. Someone did suggest me to do a save. I may do a save on a Super League somewhere down the line, maybe when there's a really perfect Super League that includes every single club that's meant to be included. I know there's no MLS sides in this as well, even though there would be at least a couple MLS sides in the top 200 reputation teams in the world. So okay, let's go back a few years after that little ramble from me. But as you can see, Chelsea won the league 2 seasons in a row. The second season we saw Marseille, Dortmund and Sporting get relegated from the top division. And then the season after that we saw Chelsea winning again, Arsenal second as well, Barcelona all the way down in 11th place, Leverkusen, Valencia and Inter Milan getting relegated. You can see there, Benfica just about surviving 2 seasons in a row in 17th place. And then in 2018-19 season, we did see Benfica get relegated with Seville and Shakhtar. PSG won the league with 76 points. We'll have a look at some of the transfers as well in a second. So let's see the big transfers going on in this top league. And then Juventus won it in 2020 ahead of Chelsea, Man City and Man United. 3 English teams in the top 4 there. Monaco finishing up in 5th. Marseille, Dynamo Kiev and Inter Milan getting relegated again. And the season just gone, Bayern Munich winning with 4 Chelsea teams, English teams behind the leaders. Tottenham up in 8th as well, doing really well. Arsenal down in 12th, but 6 English teams in the top division here doing pretty well on this save. Napoli, Shakhtar and Atletico Madrid getting relegated. You can see Barcelona down in 11th place again. Real Madrid up in 6th. But England by far is the most successful team nation on this. The German team's doing quite well though. As you can see, Dortmund, Schalke, Wolfsburg and Mönchengladbach in the top division, with Bayern Munich winning the league obviously as well. So we'll have a look at some of the transfers before moving down the divisions. I'm sure the top division is probably the one most people are interested in looking at in a bit more detail. We'll have a look at some of the players who's managed to win World Player of the Year and that sort of thing. But let's go back in time. You can see Coutinho top signing this season just gone. But I'm interested to see who the biggest signing is overall. 50 million, Higuain going from Napoli to Arsenal. We saw Harry Kane go from Spurs to PSG for £44.5 million. He is 27 now, 19 goals in 48 games for England. It's also been interesting to see what's happened in the international scene around the world. But as you can see here, the season just gone, Harry Kane 20 goals in 37 games. That's a pretty good record for him. Let's just move along then. Kingsley Coman going from Juventus to Man United for £38 million. Lots of money being spent here, you can see. There's not some crazy fee, but there's lots of £20 million and £30 million signings. And then Matheus Pereira going for £77 million from Bayern Munich to Real Madrid, the Brazilian, who has 6 goals in 17 games for Brazil. But £77 million for this guy is a crazy fee. It's £72 million. Berardi going from Arsenal to Man City. Kevin Volland, 40 million from Dortmund to PSG. Some really interesting signings here. If you spot anything interesting or ridiculous, put it in the comment section below. So then, 2020 season, top signing was Malcolm, the Brazilian, going from PSG to Man City for £52 million. Morata went from Real Madrid to PSG for £46 million. And then the season just gone, the top signing was Coutinho. Lukaku went from Man City to Monaco for £35.5 million. Schalke spending a lot of money on Zivkovic. Some really interesting things. I'm going to look at the records. Chelsea are the biggest winners. Barcelona have the highest attendance, almost 100,000 people. Lowest attendance, Monaco. Highest average attendance is really high for Barcelona. What is their stadium? Have they just expanded it, or is it a new stadium? Let's have a look in a bit more detail. You can see that the manager's changed for Barcelona. The capacity of Camp Nou is 99,394 people. Wow, it's a big stadium. The most points throughout one entire season is only 79. It shows that because there's obviously a lot more quality in this top division now, there's no teams running away with it, getting 90 points that you can see in the Premier League, for example, or in La Liga. Most team goals, PSG 81, conceded Seville 85. Poor guys. What? That is crazy. Worst team discipline, 86 yellow cards and 10 red cards in one season for AC Milan. That is really high, isn't it? That is ridiculously high. Top goal scorer, Lewandowski, 28. That's the most we've seen. No one scored more than 3 goals in a game in one match on this so far. That is quite interesting as well, actually. Let's have a look at this season in a bit more detail. So look at the players. So you can see here, I want to look at goals actually. Top goal scorer is still Lewandowski, playing for Real Madrid now at the age of 32. He scored 24 goals this season. Harry Kane second with 20, and Christian Pavon as well with 20. He's a really highly tipped wonder kid at the start of the game. Let's look at assists. You can see here, top was Insigne for who is he playing for? Napoli, 13 assists, and Ivar Fossum, the Norwegian wonder kid, getting 12 assists. Isco and De Bruyne getting 11. Key passes is always an interesting thing to look at because these are the most creative players in the division. De Bruyne, Isco, Ramsey, Fossum, Oscar, Marcel, Hazard, all in the top 10. Thomas Müller as well. Hazard still at Chelsea, Müller still at Bayern Munich, Isco still at Real Madrid. So there's some players that have remained at their teams. Lionel Messi still at Barcelona, as you'd expect. Let's have a look at him then. Wow, still really good at the age of 33. 54 goals in 117 games for Argentina. But I just spotted Odegaard is at Bayern Munich, which I thought was interesting. He's only 22 and we've gone 6 years into the future. Just shows how young he is. Moving from Real Madrid to Bayern Munich for £22 million this season just gone. Very good average rating this season as well, you can see there. And pretty high on the key passes list as well. Just thought I'd look at the stadiums out of interest, see if anything has changed, but I don't think anything has. Let me know. Oh, New White Hart Lane, Tottenham, 61,000 seater stadium. Anfield, Liverpool still playing at Anfield, Chelsea still playing at Stamford Bridge. Okay, let's go down the divisions then and see what's been going on in recent years. You can see where your team that you support, if they're on the game, are based. You see Dynamo Kiev and Roma and Benfica were promoted from Division 1 this year. You can see the champions on the right hand side. Relegated Fiorentina, Newcastle and Bordeaux. Stoke are up there in Division 1 doing very well. Porto in Division 1, Sporting in Division 1. Let's go down to Division 2 then. International, Southampton and Dynamo getting promoted. So another English team doing very well. West Ham are in Division 2 now. Montpellier, Hanover and Athletic Bilbao getting relegated from Division 2. We have seen Newcastle and West Ham win it recently, Fiorentina as well. So West Ham have gone up to Division 1 and then got relegated. Division 3 then. Real Betis, Fulham going up to Division 2. I know there was a few question marks over why Aston Villa aren't on this, but teams like Wigan and Fulham sorry. I think it's just a mistake, to be honest, on the database. The guy who made this must have missed a few teams out by accident and overlooked a few teams, which I'm sure he will apologise for if that is the case. But I'm guessing he can sort that out and create a new one. But it's still good fun anyway, even though there are a few missing teams on this. Metalist, Lille and Celtic getting promoted from Division 4. Let's go down to Division 5 then. You can pause the video and look at some of the stats yourself as well. So Hull City getting promoted from Division 5 as champions. You can see Robertson, the left back, doing very well here, average rating wise and player of the match wise. Going down to Division 6. Hull won Division 6, so they've done quite well on this. They've gone up a couple divisions at least. Angie winning Division 6. Relegated Molde, Norwegian team. Going down to Division 7 then. We'll have a look at international competitions like World Cup and the Euros after this to see how that's been impacted by these divisions. And the Champions... Is there a Champions League? I don't think there is a Champions League actually. There can't be because there's no top... Yeah, there isn't a Champions League. This has replaced the Champions League. Division 8 then, keep going down. Zagreb going up from that one. And then lastly, Division 9 was won by... Let's find out. APOEL, they're the Greek team, aren't they? And Westerio getting the unlucky accolade of finishing bottom of this with 9 points. I don't think we saw any stupid points. No 0 points this time. I remember on my experiment last time. I think this competition structure is definitely more solid. There's nothing ridiculous like teams getting 0 points. There are just a few teams missing off it. So the World Super Cup in recent years, let's see who's been winning it. So Inter won the first one, then it was Chelsea completing the double then. Barcelona beating Ajax, Man City beating Real Madrid, Man City then winning it for a second time in a row, and Man United winning it in the last year. So 4 of the 6 winners have been English teams. I know there's going to be lots of you commenting now saying the Premier League is overpowered on the game. This is the under-21s. I don't really know how this works, the under-21s. I guess it's a similar structure. Under-21s Cup, you can see the winners there. And then we've got the under-19s. Oh, look at that. Elfsborg winning Group 6 2 seasons in a row. Oh, Kapati winning it 3 years in a row. The Group 8 under-19s. Let's go down. Under-19s Cup, for those interested. And I think we're back to the top. So let's have a look at the World Cup then, to see if this has been impacted by this. Even there might not actually be a World Cup on here. There's the World Super Cup. Maybe the World Cup's been deleted. We may not be able to look at the World Cup. World Player of the Year we can look at, and World Golden Ball. So let's have a look at that. So World Player of the Year. Messi has managed to be dominant, apart from Mata winning it in 2017. You can see Ozil featuring on it, and Ronaldo, as you'd expect, and Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne and Oscar second and third this time round. World Golden Ball then. Once again, Messi's won it every single time, apart from in 2017 when Eden Hazard won it. And World Team of the Year. Let's have a look at the most recent one. Messi up front, Hazard, Ozil, Ronaldo, Oscar, De Bruyne, Peruzzi, Regani, Otamendi, Blind and De Gea in goal. Let's have a look at De Gea. I'm sure quite a few people interested in him. 30 years old now, 46 caps for Spain. I am interested to see what is happening with the international scene. So I'm just going to click on Spain actually and see what their fixtures have been and what they've been playing. But it might just be friendlies. Let's go back. There's the European League, International League thing that's going on. So I don't know who's been winning that. I don't know if there even is a winner of this sort of competition. It seems to just be groups. And I can't actually... Where's the final? Why is there no finals? I think the database has been a bit messed with, to be honest. Let's go back. What other games has Spain been playing? There's the International League. International League semi-final. So is this... What is this? I'm a bit confused. France won the International League in 2018-19 season. And Germany are going to play Holland in the International League final this time round. Yeah, I think the Euros and the World Cup have been deleted from this, so we can't actually have a look at that. So basically players are mainly just playing friendlies. So I'm just going to have a look at the teams in a little bit more detail. We're just going to see who's in charge. So Guardiola is in charge of AC Milan, you can see that. That is a little bit surprising, let's be honest. You can see the reputation of the club and a few details as to where they finished in the league over the last few years. You see they got promoted from the World Division 1 a few years ago and have managed to survive in that division the last 3 seasons. But let's go down. Arsenal have Paco Yemez in charge of the team. They finished 12th this year, previous year 13th. 4.5-star reputation still. Mertesacker is the captain still at the age of 36, and Jack Wilshere is vice captain. They've still got Alexis Sanchez at the age of 32. Still looks a really good player. Let's go down to Monaco. Mark Hughes is in charge of Monaco. Moutinho is still the captain. Their key player is Marcel, a regen from Spain, who looks pretty good. Let's go down then. All these teams seem to have 4.5-star. Oh no, now we have a 4-star team. Mancini is in charge of Atletico Madrid. They got relegated this year though, unfortunately. Bayern Munich, the current champion Zinedine Zidane is in charge of Bayern Munich. Müller is captain, Alaba is vice captain, and their key player is Martin Odegaard. At the age of 22, he is the Bayern Munich key player and has helped them win the league. So Gladbach then, they've got Andre Schubert in charge, Chalobah, vice captain. Granit Xhaka is their key player as well. Let's just have a quick look at him. The Swiss player looks decent. They managed to survive the top division this year. Going down to Chelsea, who finished third. Mourinho is still in charge at the age. He must be, he's 58 now. And their key player is Eden Hazard. Rugani is their key player, the Italian centre-back. Let's go down to Dortmund, who have Gary Monk in charge. Quite random, let's be honest. They got promoted a couple years ago from the first division. Hummels is their key player and captain at the age of 32. Very good player, very good centre-back. Barcelona then. Valverde is the manager and Messi is still the key player. We've had a look at him already. Going down to Schalke, who have Brighton Reuter in charge. Bernardo Silva, who turns into a really good player on this game, is their captain. Really, really good player. Although Zivkovic is their key player, the Serbian attacking midfielder, looks very good. Going down to Juventus, who have Bernd Schuster in charge. Paul Pogba is the key player. Let's have a quick look at him. I'm sure there's lots of you interested in him. He hasn't moved on, interestingly. He's worth 61 million though, and a very, very good player. Going down to Liverpool, who have Rickard Norling in charge as Swedish manager. Firmino is their key player at the age of 29 now, and Jordan Henderson is the club captain at the age of 30. They've still got James Milner as well, who's 35 on this, finishing 5th this year. And 4th place Man City have Marcus Weinzierl, German manager. Kompany still the captain, and De Bruyne is the key player. He's done really, really well on this save. Manchester United have Slaven Bilic in charge. Daley Blind is the captain, and we've already had a look at the key player, De Gea. Napoli finishing 18th, unfortunately getting relegated this year, have Roger Schmidt in charge. Lots of German managers in here. A key player is a regen, a Serbian. Sinisa Sikanic is their key player. Didn't do enough to keep them up though. And PSG finishing 9th have Wagner Mancini, a Brazilian, in charge. Cavani is captain, still at the club, and they actually have Ter Stegen as well, 29 years old, moved for 29.5 million a few seasons ago. And then Real Madrid have Abdullah Avci in charge, of Turkish guy. Isco is their key player. He's done really well on this save as well, actually. Looks a phenomenal talent. Going down, we're nearly at the bottom, I think. Shakhtar Donetsk, relegated as well this season, have Oleg Luzhny in charge. I'm going to get these pronunciations wrong. I do apologise. I'm not from your native country. If ruining these names, I really am sorry. Yes, I am sorry. Spurs finishing 8th. Eriksen, still their key player, still at the team. And Hugo Lloris is their captain, 34 years old now. Wolfsburg is the bottom team, and they finished 15th. They did survive. Ricardo Rodriguez is their key player, still at the club. Amazing left back. Good stuff. So that ends this part 2. I am going to do a part 3 where I holiday another 5 years. I'm not sure how far beyond that I will go, but you can let me know in part 3 how far you want me to go. I guess it might be bored by the end of part 3. But I think this has been quite interesting. There's been some really interesting things going on here. Great signings, surprising signings. Let me know what you think about wherever these teams should be finishing, where they are. Like the English teams are doing very well. You may think they're a bit overpowered, but that's just the way this game is, I guess, sometimes. Anyway, please hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in part 3 very soon.